Hey guys, welcome back to Q&A Thursday. Took a little break last week, but we are back in full force. And today's question comes from Vatsal, who wants to know how to craft an effective elevator pitch. And he also wants to see an example. So I figured we'd take the time today to do that. It's a great question. And to start off, the basic elevator pitch that's going to be effective is really short. So it's probably around 2 minutes long. You don't want to ramble, but you want to give just enough information. And there's a simple framework that we can use to make sure that we are delivering our message concisely but effectively. And that is a three-part framework. So every elevator pitch should have a little bit about your background, a hook, and then finally it should end with the goal, what you're looking for. So to break those down a little bit further, when we're talking about the background, you have two options really. The first is to take the friends and family approach, which is something along the lines of, among my family and friends, I'm always known as the person who blank. Or you can take the pivotal moment or defining moment approach, which is where you talk about a major turning point in your life where you came to this realization or an epiphany that has now set you on this new course towards this new goal. So pick one of those approaches. And then when we move on to the hook, you have one of two options as well. So you can either handle objections here, or you can highlight achievements. And the basic rule of thumb there is if you believe that the person you're interviewing with or speaking to has doubts about your ability to perform the job or whatever result you're hoping to get out of them, you want to take the time to handle the objection here, because if you bring it up first before they do, psychologically, that's going to be much more effective than if they're the one to bring it up first. However, if you feel like you're fully qualified and the company is very into you and you have a good chance of succeeding already, you just really want to highlight your achievements. You want to solidify that idea in their mind. So take one of those two approaches as well. And then finally, you just want to end with your goal, which is a simple statement about what you're looking for and why. Very easy. So 3 quick steps. And to give you guys an example, I'll use something that I probably would have used if I was interviewing back at Google or Microsoft a few years ago. So here we go. I was always known as the tech guy among my family and friends. If I had $1 for every iPhone and internet connection that I fixed, I'd probably be retired and sitting on a beach in Maui. But that actually led to 2 things. The first was that it turned me into a bit of an early adopter, especially in the technology space. I became really passionate about technology because I was getting hands-on with a lot of these new devices. And I also didn't mind working within the constraints that new devices tend to have, right? They're not fully fleshed out, but I didn't really mind that. I was just excited to see all these new things and figure out how they worked. But then on top of that, it challenged me to figure out solutions to problems, right? These people were giving me their devices and they were expecting me to figure out how to fix them, and then they could go about their day. And I didn't want to let them down. So I actively researched, figured out solutions, and that just became part of the deal. So I've carried those 2 principles with me throughout my life. And while my background is mostly scientific, I graduated with a biology degree. I worked in medical device sales. That's really the only job experience that I've had. In keeping with the theme of figuring out creative solutions to new problems, I actually went ahead and started my own digital agency that focuses on real estate lead generation for realtors in private communities across the US. So most recently, what we did was we were able to sell every single listing for this private community in South Carolina in less than 6 months, and for less than the realtor's commission on a single house. And that was all including ad spend. So we mostly do this through search engine marketing, and we've been able to replicate those results pretty well across the board. And that leads me into what I want to do now, which is work for your company or a similar company, mostly because I'm kind of in a silo right now. I'm doing this digital agency thing on my own, and I'd really, really love to be part of a team where everybody is very like-minded. We're all chasing after the same goal, but there's varying levels of experience from across the board. And I think I have a lot of knowledge to bring to the table from my experience, but there's also a lot that I have to learn from somebody who's been in the space in a traditional sense. And I think you guys have a ton to offer in that department. So that is one of the major reasons that I would love to work for you. Boom. That's it. And that does it for today's Q&A Thursday. I will see you guys next week.